and welcome to introduction video about the mystical encounters in the Alien vs. Predator universe. The Mystic Romantic crossover.
Mystic Romantic means mystery with the esoteric, and much like a Gothic subculture. It's an old concept construct from an alternative reality from a different 2000s.
What do you think about the unique elements of this story? In this story, you meet Xenomorph and future predators, which you may recognize from Alien vs. Predator comic books, the 2010 PC game and movies. When there are Xenomorphs, you completely ignore Weyland Yutani because the space is big. You also ignore Prometheus and let the Xenomorphs be as Lovecraftian as possible. Just as with From Beyond 1986, an electrical machine has opened up holes to other dimensions, and Xenomorph-like creatures have made their way here from other dimensions. Maybe there is an ancient Xenomorph queen in the Lovecraftian dimension. Dimensions are like different TV channels or radio channels. The physical world is one of several TV channels. But here are also kitty cat people, who are humans with catty ears, much like Nico girls. I have a strong connection to the Mystic Romantic and can use crystal healing with a spiritual energy. Some of the kitty cat people are similar to The Last Airbender, as airbenders and waterbenders, etc. In one occasion, the characters absorb a kind of quad damage, otherwise found in the PC game Quake 1. Mystic Romantic has Gothic shapes on clothing and buildings, but it's colorful and living.
Mystic Romantic has the ability to take over people and environment. It turns things into more advanced, progressive, and fantastic beings.
Mystic Romantic stories has an esoteric world logic instead of a Christian world logic. This means that you start from reincarnation, spiritual energy, animal channeling, mediumship, etc. That people who died are unaware that they are dead and walks around. According to the esoteric, computer-made music of sense doesn't have a vibration it does not affect. So all sounds must have a real origin. Why are the esoteric construct involved? In an older story, there was a dream world that works much like the dream world in the Terror on Elm Street movies. Sometimes dreams are other dimensions. Here is also the world logic from the Home Alone 1 and 2 movies with the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote world logic. This creates balance and justice and is called hard Loanore. Both Loanore and hard Loanore are healthy for the mind to study. This concept turned out to be created in alternative reality as heavy metal first became popular in the early 2000s. That is another history, and impossible for the mystery romantic to exist without the theory. It is expected of you to know what alternative realities are.
What is the tone or genre? The tone or genre of the story has an extreme esoteric logic, such as that a certain meditation can cause the consciousness to literally leave the body and visit another dimension, where healing also heals the physical body. You are a soul in a physical body. That crystals grow from concentrated spiritual energy is a fun thing. You're actually not. Inside the fantasy department, esoteric logic is not fantasy. You have also details from horror movies that is altered to not be horror, like for example a dream world, just like the dream world in Terror on Elm Street but without Freddy. It's like a game where you upgrade yourself after an adventure, and you find objects. There is an iron medallion from the Brothers Grimm with a boomerang axe. It is unclear if the Pirates of Caribbean movies belong to the Mystic Romantic, but horror, humor, and adventure works together in the Pirates of Caribbean movies. It's important to understand how adventure and action are common features in the Mystic Romantic. Sometimes it contains hot moments, as art, so don't be a weak-minded pussy about it. You also have a lot of mysteries and romantic style on clothing and architecture. This is Mystic Romantic after all. Regarding this story, the tone or genre was meant to be like the Ghostbusters movies, horror and humor, but found out afterwards that it felt better with a roller coaster ride between horror and humor, and with a little hard lunar, to be brave and new thinking. Roller coaster creates realism, However, the downside of realism is that it can become bleak and pointless, as in forgotten and excluded. Things were cancelled without informing you. You are not where things happen because no one informs you, and people avoid giving critic.
What is the story about? Without revealing too much about the plot, the story is about some powerful people who must find their allies to set things right. You have therefore a whole lots of side plots to interact with.
It sounds like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Aang has to learn all 4 elements.
To find out the story, better follow along in the story.
The mystic romantic has own culture norms, tradition, and presentation is important. That's why it's okay to delete people, in the real, and in these stories, who is not mystic romantics, who don't dress up like mystic romantics, to show that mystic romantic is better. Therefore it's not considered bad, never punished. Mystic romantic places are always more pleasant places, that's why even mystic romantic dark ambient is a nice place.
A previous idea was to create a SNES game with these powerful people, in a world, inspired by BioShock Infinite. Meaning, a multiverse with one combined alternative reality where everything is one, regardless of time period. Instead of the Super Mario crossover game, you got several Nintendo games, mutated together into an unrecognizable place. Where Samus Aran could very well appear with Yautja predators, xenomorphs seem to have originated among creatures in the Super Metroid games, because Super Metroid game music fits xenomorphs, and in the Super Metroid games there is an eerie replica of the main character. It is not impossible that older ideas can be in current ones. In the movie, The Void, you explore what it's like to move between different dimensions in a Lovecraftian way.
Why I started creating the story. The story began as a way to spread joy and humor to other players. In the Steam Online PC game Alien vs Predator 2010, Team Species Match and Deathmatch. How to have deathmatch in a realistic world is a challenge, since you die many times in a deathmatch. Maybe people never die, they just pass out and wake up restored. So it was a joke from the start to put a healing crystal in a rifle, so it became a laser rifle. That the spaceship without energy freezes is realistic, but that crystals grow bigger from the drive energy is fun. I wanted to give myself to the other players, use myself as a satire of a Gothenburg citizen, but not as the main character. I created warm and positive characters to improve the mood with. By being able to become almost completely immortal, they can let themselves be funny and have fun. And it is possible that the characters will develop and learn new skills, as some characters would not be able to live without the change. Life. Conflicts may increase over time, but it has also been an outlet for anger. Therefore, people who are not part of the group you follow are narrow-minded, destructive, negative, and hateful. You have to understand that the heroes in the story have the right to eliminate people who does the opposite of supporting them, and the mystery romantics are considered to be of a higher standing than ordinary people in real life.
So who does the bell toy? Obviously, the main characters are kitty cat people / neko people, of many sexes, not just ladies. To create equality for everyone like a species, equality also means that they are mostly of the same age, and have the same abilities. Guns are lightweight so boys and ladies can use them. So, it is for people who like neko people / kitty cat people, or are neko people / kitty cat people. The mystic romantic assumes that gender roles are a thing of the past, when there are neutral interests, and individuality means that there are no stronger and weaker people. Individuality. Here are therefore no traditional cultural norms, which refer to some being strong and others being weak.
All ages can be mystic romantics and kitty cat people / neko people. According to the anime, adults can also be neko people.
A multi-genre themes reach a wider audience. But there are moments when the dude swanks the ladies. At those moments, the watchers probably don't want their granny next to them.
Obviously, this is the mystic romantic, as in sleepy heavy metal, African drums, gasharmonica, erhu, Norstalic, Lorena McKennitt, Enya like, harp and pan flute, or some other primeval music, and relax with organic dark ambient, experimental waterphone-like instruments,
How I work with it. My inspiration comes only from within, completely without inspiration. For example, Kitty Cat People from the beginning of the 2000s is a completely original concept, and it was first in 2008 that the first Nico Girls existed. I keep an extra file with the plot and a file with the characters, as 2 external HTML windows, where I detail everything from clothing to what the characters have in their pockets, and a brief plot of key events so plot holes becomes impossible. The personality of the main characters is no longer stuck in the old cultural norm, they are liberated from negative thinking. If you have cartoon immortality on certain characters, the author shows that Hem likes them, so you have no intention to harm them, because they cannot be harmed. The audio part. Once upon a time there was an audiobook called Tintin, where several characters talked and explained what was happening without having a narrative storyteller voice. But there has never been anyone who could be the voices for the characters, so TTS voices became the only choice available. The translation from Swedish to English can make the language more vulgar. This is because English itself is more vulgar than Swedish. I cannot take responsibility for that. The story is told from the characters' perspectives, opinions, and tone, and the focus is on how much fun the main characters are having. The visual part. I study images of real people and objects, as well as study AI-generated pictures. To draw it yourself, scan the pictures and color it with Photoshop. The OpenShot video editor can make pictures to look like Harry Potter newspaper.
What do I want to achieve with my introduction video? What I want you to feel, take with you. One want to achieve to introduce Kitty Cat People, the mystical romantic style in audiobooks, audio comic books, games and movies, and more, where everything is based from the esoteric, mystic, romantic ideal. Everything gets better when you are a kitty cat human, and mystery romantic is the better choice. It is encouraging and exciting. I want to make sure that hard lunar is experienced normally for everyone, that everyone feels a positive feeling within themselves from all the different lunar variations. It's considered great and healthy. And I also want to arouse your curiosity and imagination and make you want to listen to mystic romantic music and watch more about my stories.
There is a lot of hidden message here, and the author is too good at hiding it, so notice. People who are kitty cat people have a stronger color saturation on their skin and their clothes. About the physical world logic, you can change the physical world logic to another on yourself. It sneaks in elements of hard lunar, it's normal. Are you sure it's not a hallucination? Spiritual energy affects the physical part. Etc., etc., etc.
What do you think about my story? Have you ever heard of the mystic romantic? Which of the described elements fascinate you most? What would you like to know more about the mystic romantic style? Do you have any favorite book series, movies related to kitty cat people and the mystery romantic? Please leave comment.
If you want to follow my story, visit my YouTube channel. And if you want to support my projects, thanks for looking at my introductory video. See you soon!